In other news, the FBI says it thwarted a murder-for-hire plan targeting President-elect Donald Trump. So the Justice Department today disclosed criminal charges, revealing that Iranian government official directed a contact here in the United States to kill Donald Trump before the election. The U.S. charged 3 people in connection to that plot. The charges reflect what U.S. officials call ongoing efforts by Iran to target U.S. government leaders, including President-elect Trump. So CBS News legal contributor Jessica Levinson joins us now. Jessica, what can you tell us about this report? It's just been unsealed. You've had your eyes on it.
I've had my eyes on it. What we see is exactly what you said, Reed, which is it was a murder-for-hire plot, and President-elect Trump is referred to as victim 4. And there was a fairly specific, if we agree with or believe the complaint, fairly specific plot to try and kill him prior to the election. And this, I have to say, is somewhat of a new world. Let's make sure that we know that this was not a typical type of complaint, that this is a historic complaint where you have criminal complaint, a federal criminal complaint filed against a foreign national who, as it is at large, for attempting to kill one of the presidential candidates.
What's the thrust of the complaint? Like, what could happen if we play it out? What's the teeth?
Well, I mean, if they can find the defendant in this case, obviously, then what we have in our system is a system of laws. And we would try to not, of course, capture, but to bring somebody to justice under the American criminal justice system. So if I'm answering your question correctly, the thrust of the complaint would be that you would bring somebody into a federal courthouse and you would say, you are entitled to due process,
right,
and you will get that due process. And then we could potentially see a trial. But at this point, again, defendant is at large, allegedly in Iran. And I don't know that we will see that trial.
While we have you here, to pivot just a little bit and want to pick your brain about something, Judge Tanya Chutkan immediately granted Jack Smith's request to pause deadlines in the Donald Trump case. That raises a lot of eyebrows. Does this all go away now that Donald Trump is the president-elect?
Yes, and I want to add one very small caveat that I have not heard a lot of lawyers talking about. So what's happening here, Reed, of course, you're mentioning one of the 2 federal criminal cases that are pending against the former president. And what we all know is that former President Trump will become the president again. He will have the power to fire special counsel Jack Smith. He's pledged to do so. He will also have the power to appoint an attorney general who he will direct to walk into court and say, we are dismissing that case. And that's why we see the pause in that particular case. And here's the caveat. I think there is a bit of an open legal question as to whether or not a judge has the discretion to say, sorry, no, we're not dismissing this case. I don't think it's within the interest of justice to dismiss it. Now, we have a whole bunch of legal questions after that, but I don't think we've been here before. And Reed, you and I are going to say this a lot in the next, I think, few months and years. We've not been here before. I suspect that Judge Chutkan, in signaling, yes, I will pause the dates, is signaling that she would say, okay, we're dismissing the case. The punchline for viewers, all of the criminal cases pending against President-elect Trump are extremely likely to go away.
Wow. Literally watching and history write itself in real time. Jessica Levinson, always great talking to you. Let's hope you get some rest this weekend.